To modern audiences, Nazi propaganda seems so obvious. The clash between our own values and the anti-Semitic, or misspelled Semitic there, values of Nazi Germany really stand out to us. They seem so explicit and overt. What's a lot more challenging though, is when a text presents values that are similar to our own, when it matches what we already think, when it supports the ideas we already hold. And when that happens, we might feel encouraged or more predisposed to agree with what we're reading without being discerning. Sometimes these texts, which we might like, might actually be presenting a biased view. They might even be presenting outright lies. And we do not want to be persuaded by false teachings. We want our opinions to be formed objectively, based on fact, supported by reason, as well as allowing moral values such as compassion and empathy to guide us as well. So the question is, how do we evaluate texts to determine whether or not they are reliable? We need to be discerning. That means we need to be able to make judgments about the credibility of what we're reading. As a fun introduction to that, I'll get you to play a game. So if you click on this image here, it will open up the 2019 version of this game. I'm going to play the 2018 version with you to help you get your head around how it works. So I'll go to the first bit. So we're going to be shown 5 news stories, and we'll first look at the headline and image, and then the article copy, the body, the main article, and then finally the source. And as we get each of those pieces of evidence, pieces of information, we need to decide, based just on this one piece of evidence, so just the headline or just the image, do we think this is a real story? Objective, fact-based truth. Do we think it's for lols? Do we think it's a hoax, which is a bit of a questionable one? Do we think it's a joke, or do we think it's satire? See, sometimes a text might be designed to be funny, and we're meant to understand it's funny, and yet some people believe it, and obviously that creates problems. Is it a mistake, an oops? Did the journalist get it wrong? And finally, is it fake news? Is it designed deliberately to misinform and persuade you based not on fact, but on the opinions or desires of someone you can't trust? So as we answer each question, we'll find out how discerning we are. Let's do the first one together. So we start just with the headline. Here's the headline. Trump made a fake movie trailer for Kim Jong-un with the 2 leaders as heroes. So Kim Jong-un, of course, being the leader of North Korea. So now we need to say, do we think this headline, based just on the headline, is real? Do we think it is a joke? Do we think it is a mistake that the journalist got it wrong? Or do we think this is deliberate fake news? I lean towards, I think this seems not real. It seems odd that the leader of America would want to ally himself with the leader of North Korea. So I'm leaning towards one of these last 3. And I think the idea of a fake movie trailer, that sounds to me like a bit of a joke, maybe even satire, trying to make a statement about public relations. Don't know what happened there. Not public relations, between the way the 2 countries relate to each other. So I'm going to say lols for this one. We don't find out yet whether I'm right or wrong. Now here's an image of Trump with Kim, or this is the image that accompanies that headline. Now it's talking about Trump and Kim Jong-un, but that doesn't look like Trump to me. I think it's a bit hard to see, but I think maybe that's a different American president. So, and this is a clip from the fake movie trailer. Okay, so I'm going to say maybe this is a mistake because they seem to have the wrong person in the picture. So I'm going to say that's an oops. Now we can actually read the article copy. Okay, it's from 14th of June 2018. That's interesting. I'd have to go through and read it. Okay, it's interesting. It's pointing out that it seems bizarre, the fake trailer. Okay, this is interesting. Gizmodo has transcribed the voiceover. Okay, this actually, as I'm reading this, I'm thinking this sounds, I haven't read it thoroughly because I'm trying to be quick for the video. This sounds legit to me. So I'm actually going to say, based on, not on the first two elements, but based just on the copy, I think that maybe this is real. And I think the last thing we get is the source. Finally check the source. Okay, this is from gizmodo.com.au. They're a pretty reliable news source. I happen to know them. We could click through and check out their website. I know Gizmodo, I read quite a lot of their stuff. So I think this is real after all. I gave 2 votes for real, 1 for lols, 1 for oops, and tell us your final answer. Ultimately, I think it's real. And done. This really happened. It's real. What? I need to read the copy in more detail because maybe the headline's misleading me a little bit. Now, what's good is it gives us some clues, and it's really important that you read this final bit. So when the story broke online, many people on social media questioned whether it was true. Fair enough, as did I, as making a movie trailer is unprecedented in international diplomacy. However, the story was verified and reported on by a number of media outlets and late-night comedy shows. Well, I'm not sure how much I trust late-night comedy shows, but media outlets. What were the clues? There is a lot of specific and verifiable detail in the story. That's something we look for in the copy. It was talking about places and people who were there and who was making these claims. There is a White House watermark on the video. I didn't notice that, and it does point out this could be faked, but it did have the White House logo on it, suggesting it was from that source. Gizmodo is a reputable tech news site. Many other reputable sources covered this story as well. There you go. True story. Bizarre. Okay, you get the idea. So I've done just the first of 5 for the 2018 version, but I'm going to get you to click on this link and do the 2019 version and go right through it. Look for those clues, have a bit of fun with it. The closer you look, the more you think about it, the more accurate you'll be and the more you'll learn through the process. Once you're done with all 5 news sources, 5 examples, so you play the game for yourself by clicking on this link, then I want you to write a reflection. I want you to write a reflection about what you have learned through this experience. How has it helped you become more discerning? How has going through this process helped you learn to evaluate news sources better? What types of things will you look out for when reading texts? Already we got some clues there. Watermarks, that wasn't something I thought of and wasn't something I noticed. So looking for, is there any kind of branding or logo? What site does it come from? I know Gizmodo, so I knew they were a reasonably trustworthy source. Those sorts of things. So play the game, write the reflection, and submit, and I will see you next time.